Hi, everyone. We're the K3, and this is our part 2 of Should You Watch Blind? More or less, did it stick the landing? Hi, we're the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa, and thank you for being a part of the K3 and taking a KDrama coffee break with us.
And as we discussed earlier, blind, should you watch? The answer was yes. Now we have reached the end, Marisa. Do you think it stuck the landing? That's the big question.
Yes, but I have some questions.
Right? So before we go any further, please know that this whole entire podcast / video will be full of spoilers.
Yeah, right.
So if you have not watched yet or you do not want to know, you can stop now and join you can watch our Should You Watch video. It's right there.
I still do recommend it though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it was solid and it wrapped up everything. But was I satisfied? I still had some quibbles, maybe beyond quibbles.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly it. Like, it was such a relentless cat and mouse game to the very end. And then I felt like the ending was just kind of a little rushed and a little, I did not get the juicy retribution that I wanted at the end.
I know. Why were we back in a courtroom?
I don't know.
They do this so often in K-dramas. It's like we're back in a courtroom, and so we're spending so much time like explicating things when it's like there should have been more revenge.
Yes. So let's dive in. Let's dive in that final episode. So when we get to the end, we finally learned that it has been all of our brother Sung-hoon's plan all along. He has planted the memories into his younger brother's brain.
This is like a 20-year project.
A 20-year project. Totally. It was like mind control. Like, it was awful, right? And then he brings in the most psychotic of all the children back from the States to do the dirty work and doesn't expect him to go off just off on his own.
That he can keep controlling him, our little cutie pie with the glasses, who turns out to be completely, off the rails. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They kind of set it up that the kid was kind of a murderous child to begin with.
Yes.
Like, I'll kill your mom. Do you want me to do that? You totally do that. I'll totally kill you. Yeah.
I have to say, I really enjoyed his performance.
Loved his performance so much. Listen, Park Ji-min was so good, right?
Yes.
And he looks like he's like 15. He's like almost 30. So he's like a little bit disarming, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got that maturity behind that really childish face. And you're just like, you're terrifying.
I know. He looks innocent. Disarming is definitely the best way to describe him.
I would have totally been murdered by him. Because I've been like, yeah, of course. What do you need? Yeah.
Sure. Hop in the car. I'll give you a ride.
I'll give you a ride. Right? Dead. Totally dead. I would be absolutely dead.
Right.
And so I feel like they did a really good job of explaining how everything was set up.
Yes.
Right?
That was really well done, and how everyone was connected and how this was the long con.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then there were some details that I wish they didn't really fulfill.
Right. What was the big, which one was probably the biggest one for you?
Well, okay. The biggest one is that these children were abused. Will you cut them a break? Get them into some psychiatric care. I know 15 people died, but really, you're going to throw him in a cell, like in isolation? It's like, you're torturing him again.
Yes.
Like, I think that was the biggest thing, is that they didn't address what these children went through.
There was no address. You're right. There was no addressing what made them do this.
Right.
It was just like they whole cloth emerged as these mass serial killers.
Right. And it comes up in the courtroom scene and everyone's like, oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Lock them away for life.
Right. Life sentence. And everyone's like, good. And I was like, wait.
You kind of missed the point.
Questions? Yeah.
Yes.
I think not the only, that makes it sound like it's bad. I did enjoy it. But the one piece where I was like kind of satisfied was when our young little disarming boy walks in and completely shanks and kills Crazy Dog. Like, I was really bummed out that he died, but you could tell he had a plan when he walked in there, and I was like, what is about to happen? And I was, listen, I'm not sure what this says about me, but I was super satisfied when he went, whoopah! Yeah. And like, killed him right on the spot.
See, that was good. That was good revenge.
Yeah,
and it ended the only way it could have.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, Taecyeon and Taecyeon.
Yeah.
Parents?
Yeah.
Like nothing? Like
Yeah.
where's the revenge and retribution there? And
why don't we see their court case?
Right.
Where they're being locked away for life.
Right.
Like those were the court cases that
Yes.
I wanted to see.
And the police chief?
yes.
Like what happened to him?
Yeah, he was like locked up off screen.
I
was like, that is just
that's what was missing for me, really.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
110%. I feel like that's the exact same thing for me. And I will say that, and I get it.
Mhm.
Listen, I get it. After every episode, I would go to Twitter and see what everyone was talking about because I needed more. I needed more because I was just like, I need more. But the brother story was just heartbreaking to me.
Oh,
It was just heartbreaking to me. And it really, and I felt like Taecyeon's character, like kind of obviously they did kind of a few time jumps and he kind of went like deep into work and like, that's how he worked through his whatever. Like that's a boy who needed therapy a lot.
Oh, yes.
Like there was a lot of rewiring that needed to happen there.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that, like at the end, he says to his Jung, I hope you now can be free of this. I'm like, well, you locked him up in prison.
You
basically have just put him back.
Well,
Okay.
So yeah, that's the other thing that was missing for me was redemption.
Yes.
You've got a story where children become murderous as adults because they were so intensely abused, but there's no redemption for them. And even Taecyeon at the end, he kept wanting to lock away his brother and not believe his brother. And then there were moments where he did kind of like sitting in the courtroom, he started to get a real understanding of what his brother had been through. And yet he still was like angry at him. I'm like, oh my God, you need to hang out with Jung and Ji more.
Right. And even like when he, like when Ha Seok-jin's character, someone attempted to kill himself.
Yes.
And he goes in there to have this, I was hoping they were going to have like, he had a beautiful moment, but some sort of like, even though you didn't think I was your brother, you were always my brother. Like I wanted something like that. And all he says is like, you don't deserve to die. You must suffer for all you've done. I was like, wait, what?
Yes, exactly. I'm like, have you
I'm
learned nothing?
like, okay.
So yeah.
I was really bummed out by that scene.
Yeah.
And not because I don't understand the anger and the rage and the, oh my God, I've been betrayed by the one person that I love. Like I totally get that whole storyline, but I felt like there was like a whole episode that deserved its attention so that we could have some sort of reconciliation between these two characters, right?
Yes.
And so, I mean, it was good and it was satisfying to some extent. And like that end scene when they're watching the kids play soccer, it was beautiful. And it was a beautiful voiceover where if they would have had someone like our girl, Eungi, that they maybe would not have become serial killers.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was. Because the thing is, this show, they did so many things right.
So many.
Like after, so our last podcast, we ended at episode 8. Yeah. But then what happened was, it was really kind of juicy and terrifying, like people being locked away and tricked and just like, it was really good cat and mouse. Yeah. And the reveals were coming and it was really well paced. Yeah. So it's just kind of a bummer that there were some things at the end that we were like, wait, what about this guy or that guy? But really, it was a solid, I'd say it's a solid drama.
Absolutely a solid drama.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just know that when you get to the end, if you are seeing if it ends well, I mean, it ends well-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's not, I actually was very emotional when it was over because I felt so bad for Ha Seok-jin's number 11 character. And even that final shot of him as he's walking down the corridor in his prison garb and he turns around and he sees his younger self and that younger self walks and then he turns into the judge that he was and then it like goes to, it's just like,
a wasted life.
I just like, I really, again, it's probably more realistic, but that's not why I watch dramas.
No.
And I do. I mean, at the end, I needed more like serious retribution for the adults that perpetrated everything.
Because they were so horrible. The police chief should have gotten it somehow. Come on.
Right?
I really needed to see that.
And I kind of needed to see mom go down horribly.
Mom. Yeah, she didn't suffer nearly enough. Yeah. Poor dad. Oh my God. So yeah, we need a little more.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
But solid, dark thriller drama.
Yes, definitely.
Let us know what you guys thought about the finale in the comments below. And until next time, we're the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa, and you. Thank you for taking a K-drama coffee break with us. Please follow, like, subscribe, do all the things, get the word out there, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.